Well, hey everybody. Thought I would go ahead and get started here. I'm actually really excited to finally get to this video series that I've been wanting to do for quite a long time. I mean, I don't know what constitutes a long time, but ever since I purchased this Dungeon Saga game, I've been wanting to start filming and making my solo playthrough of the game. Now, that was kind of one of the big reasons I purchased the game, along with the companion companion's guide, a companion adventure book, which actually took the Overlord player and put him into a AI controlled as far as the enemies go. So that way, it enables the full co-op of the game and or actual solo play of the game. So what I wanted to do, what I've been wanting to do, is I've wanted to actually start to film my playthrough of the campaign itself on solo. So I've been trying to get the equipment together, I've been trying to get the time and all this, so it's finally at a place where I can start it. So as clunky as this may be starting out, you know, just kind of have to bear with me. I don't do this every day, but after a while, and it won't be too bad. But if you want to stick with me, I appreciate it. I can't promise you that I'm going to get all the rules right. I can't promise you it's going to be the best video you've ever seen. I guarantee you it won't be the best video you've ever seen, but it'll be okay, I guess. Anyway, anything you guys notice I get wrong out there, I'd appreciate some comments on it. It's constructive comments, by the way, so we all make mistakes. We're all human. Can't promise anything. Will be mind anyway. Alright, so without too much talking going on by me, I laid out some of the components here. We have the actual game box, and I actually did an unboxing video, so you can probably look through my videos and find that one. I just wanted to show you some of the components, but what I went ahead and did was I already pulled what we're going to need, because I'm going to be going by the quick start guide here. And the quick start guide is basically going to get you right into the game, and it's going to get you playing a very simplified quest, actually two quests, that get you introduction to some characters and some of the very basics of the game. So it kind of tells you exactly what you're going to need to pull as far as tiles, heroes, tokens, doors, minions, dice, blah blah blah. It tells you everything you need to pull, and I went ahead and got all that together here in the bag, so that's ready to go. And what you do is you go into it just like you're going to be setting up a quest, and you get all that taken care of, and then it'll walk you through the first round. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get the board set up, and then I'll actually take you guys through my walkthrough of the quest. Now, with the solo play of this, I can't do the solo play with these little starter quests, these quest A and B. Just the Overlord cards, you have to draw very specific to the quest, and to use the invisible Overlord cards, which is what enables it to be solo, it really wouldn't work for the two introductory quests. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to play both roles. I'm going to have to play the role of the hero, and I have to play the role of the Overlord. I think it'll still come out fine in the end. This is just meant to be an introductory, so I just wanted to state that even though I won't be using the invisible Overlord cards, I will be using the standard game cards, but I'll be playing both of those roles myself. So I'm going to go ahead and get that set up, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, back. I got the table set up. I had it set up in a whole new location. That's why the lighting may look a little bit different. I was actually filming before in my garage, and it's way too hot. There's nothing I could do to get cool, so I had to move everything inside to a different location, so the lighting, like I said, is going to look a little different. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've gotten the board set up, laid out exactly how it wants us to do for Adventure A here. This is the board layout that it has here, so I've gotten that done. I put the tokens where they wanted to and started our heroes off here at the start of the tunnel, which is right here, and leading up to the door here is actually what's going to be our victory, is the heroes have to open the final door, and if the Overlord gets crippled on one of the heroes, then the Overlord wins. like I said, repeat what I said before, but I'm going to be playing both of the roles of the Overlord player and the heroes. So I think for this introductory, the 2 introductory quests, that I should be able to handle that just fine. I've played the Overlord in Descent pretty much exclusively. I've also played as heroes for some other things, so kind of understand how it should work, and it won't be, oh, we're not going to hold anything back, to the heroes. I'll throw everything I can at them when it's the Overlord's turn. So I've got the board here set up and ready to go. Got our bone piles, got our 4 skeleton warriors, which is the max that we can have on the board. Our 2 heroes here, Rorden the dwarf and Orloff the barbarian. And there are their stat cards here, which tells me their movements, their combat dice, their armors, and it keeps track of their health. I also have an Overlord panel, which tells me the stats for the soldier or the minions that are going to be on the board, and tells me what's going to happen to them when they get hit or how many dice. So we can go ahead and get this started. As per the rules, I've already shuffled the Overlord deck, so I'm drawing my first 3 cards here to start my Overlord hand, but those will come into play once it's the actual Overlord's turn. So go ahead and set those aside. So the first thing I want to do is the heroes are going to activate, and they want to get to this door here, but they're fighters, so they're going to, they have no choice. They want to go ahead and get the closest thing available to them. So it recommends that we start with Orloff, so I'm going to go ahead and activate him, and we can go ahead, and it's always going to be movement first, and then the second action that you get it's basically either an attack action or a spell action. And once your movement is done, that's it for the movement. You can't break it up. You can't take it as your second action by doing a spell or fighting first and then take your movement action. It's always move first, and then once you finish with that, then you do your second action. So if you decline movement, your movement phase is done. But anyway, so Orloff has a movement of 7, so what we're going to do is we're going to just move him up here to the closest enemy, and we're going to go 1, 2, and 3, and he's going to end his movement right in the front arc of the skeleton warrior. And I know it's probably recommended to actually move or end your movement here, I think, since you end it in the front arc, which is any of the 5 spaces around a model besides the 3 on the back. But just for the example of this one, just moving things on, I'm going to end it right in front of him and go ahead and do my second action, which is going to be attack. Now Orloff gets a combat dice of 5, so we're going to roll 5 dice, 5 of the blue for Orloff, and the skeleton is only going to get 2 dice for defense. He's only got a 2 for defense. So we're going to roll those both at the same time, and then we're going to compare those dice rolls once everything has been rolled. Okay, so we're going to want to first take out the feeble attacks, and what the feeble attacks are is anything that is not going to penetrate the armor of the defender. And in this case, the skeleton warriors have a 2, so anything that's a dice roll of 2 or below that, those are considered feeble. So you can see we already have 1 feeble here that we're going to discard. And then we take all the other dice that were successful, and we line them up and go from highest to least. So we have a 6, a 5, a 4, and a 3. Now the skeleton rolled 2 4s, and those are going to go at the beginning, because we're going to compare it to highest to lowest. So the 6 beat out the 4, my 5 also beat out his 4, and he has those 2 hits coming in he can't defend against. So these are all successful hits, and per the chart, if the skeleton gets any more than 2 hits, he's destroyed, and we remove the model completely from the board. So we're going to go ahead and remove him from the game. Now the next is we're going to activate Rorden, the dwarf. He's going to also move. Let's situate the chair here. He's going to move, and he's only got a movement speed of 6, so he'll try to get as close up to this to the skeleton warrior as he can. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's a little little head of Orloff, and that's going to go ahead and finish out his turn because he can't do anything. He can't do any attack actions, and he's already finished with the movement. So we're going to go ahead and roll right into the Overlord turn. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal my Overlord cards of what I get. So the Overlord has a Raise Dead card. He also has 2 extra commands and two Raise Dead. Now, per the adventure here for the first adventure, the Overlord is only allowed 2 commands per turn, and unless I play some of these cards here that would give me extra, I'm only allowed to play 1 card per turn. So what I want to do is, I only have 1 skeleton off the board. I can only have a max of 4, so I'd like to try to move 2 skeletons in for an attack, and I can play, I will go ahead and use this card, which is Raise 1 Dead, and add that to the discard pile here. I don't know if you can see that off camera or not. Anyway, I'll go ahead and remove this token off the board, and we'll put this skeleton here. Now he can't act or anything because once we raise him, he's done for the turn. But I still have my 2 base commands. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to command this skeleton here, and they have a movement of 4. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Just going to put him right there. And he can't do anything else. He's basically just blocking the way. And then I'm going to activate this one here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and for my final action, I will go ahead and attack Rawdon. And for the skeleton, they get a combat dice of 2, so not that great. However, Rawdon has a armor of 4, so he's going to get to roll 4 dice. Oh no, I'm sorry. He's going to roll 4 he's going to roll 4 combat dice to my 2. All right, so yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to take the combat dice of both of the attacker, which is the skeleton, and the defender, which is Rawdon. So Rawdon has a combat of 4, so we're going to do 4 blue die, and then the skeleton has a combat die of 2. So skeleton's going to have a little bit of a difficult time trying to get through the armor of the dwarf here, but we'll see. Okay, so didn't do too hot on Rawdon's roll. However, if we take the 2 dice that he did, we can already discard the 1 because we have an armor of 4 on Rawdon, so anything below or 4 or below is going to be a discard or feeble attack. Now, these are mine from greatest to least. His highest was a 5, and I was able to successfully block that with a 5 of my own. So the skeleton was not able to penetrate my wonderful dwarven armor. And so that's going to go ahead and finish out the Overlord turn. And so at the end of the turn, which is basically going to end the round, we draw 1 more card for the Overlord to his hand, and then we move back to the hero turn. So we'll go ahead and start with Orloff. I'm going to go ahead and move him up to a 7 movement, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go ahead and attack the one that's straight in front of me. So the Rawdon has a combat dice of 4. You get 4 die, and skeleton has 2. Okay. So 2 were rolled by me, and those were feeble, so those are discarded. So I have a 6 and a 6. The skeleton was able to block successfully one of my hits. One of my hits did come through, but if I'm on the, as far as the panel goes, if I'm not able to do more than 2 hits, it doesn't really. If I'm not able to do more than 1 hit, and it doesn't do anything to him. So the skeleton warrior, I shoved my sword into his ribcage, and he just kind of laughed at me. So Orloff is finished. Now Rorden is going to take his turn. He's going to go ahead and attack the skeleton in front of him. He's going to get 4 combat dice. And the skeleton's going to get 2. Okay. So all good hits. We got a 6, a 4, a 3, and a 3. And there were 2 that he successfully blocked. And still 2 of them came in. So he is reduced down to a pile of bones. That's good. And that's going to go ahead and finish out the turn of the heroes. So we move into the Overlord turn. I'm going to go ahead and reveal the Overlord cards. I don't really want to use my 2 raised dead because we only have 1 here on the board, so it's going to be a waste. I can do 3 extra commands or 2 extra commands. The Overlord may give 2 extra commands in this turn in addition to those allowed by the adventurer. I'm going to go ahead and give the 2 extra commands. So I'll have a 4 commands. One of my first ones is to replace this bone pile with the skeleton. The skeleton can no longer act. Kind of cheated myself here, I think, by using that 2 extra commands card. So I blocked this guy in. Not able to do anything. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and take that back. I will use this bone pile here. No. Forget that. Okay. So I want to block him in, because that would open his way up. Okay. So I have 3 actions left. My second one is going to go ahead and activate this skeleton to attack Orloff. So he'll get 2 combat dice, and Orloff has 5. He's going to have a hard time getting Orloff. He is a baddie. Okay. So, skeleton rolled a 5 and a 3. I go from highest to lowest. I already know that all of mine, I was able to defend each one of those that came in with higher rolls. So, skeleton tried, but could not hurt. And then I will go ahead and activate this skeleton. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they have a good line of stuff to get through before they can succeed here. And so that card's going to go away, and so now that we're at the end of the Overlord turn, end of the round, I draw 1 card for the Overlord. And now we're going to go back to the hero's turn again. And hopefully we have a little bit more success. I'm going to start with Rorden, and I'm going to try to have him take out the one that's right in front of him there. So he's going to get his 4 dice, and the skeleton's 2. Okay. Feeble attack 2, so we go 5, 5, and a 4. Skeleton did a 4 and a 3. With my 2 5s, 1 out. So we already know that we beat him into a pile of bones, but we did another hit, which is actually going to remove him completely from the board. So that was good. Now, Orloff's going to try to take out the skeleton that's in front of him, and he actually gets 5 die to the skeleton's 2. Good. So we got a 6, 5, 4, a 4, and 1 feeble. And the skeleton did a 5 and a 3. And I was able to beat those with a 6 and a 5, and I had 2 more hits coming into him, so this one has been completely removed from the board. Okay. So now we're going to move into the Overlord turn. Let's see what we got here. Right. So if I raise, I can do 2. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play my 2 Raise the Dead card. So I will raise this one here, and this one here, because I don't have any other bone piles to choose from. So we use that card. Now I still have my 2 commands to use. I will go ahead and move this one in front of Warden and attack with my final move. So he'll get his 2, Warden gets his 4. Let me see what happens. I'll take that roll. Alright, so the skeleton got a 6 and a 4. However, I did 2 6s, a 4, and a 3. I was able to successfully block all those hits coming in. And so my other action is going to be to move this one in front and attack Orloff. Okay. I'm just going to get his 5 dice. Skeleton's going to get his 2. He actually hit pretty good. So his 6 and a 4, but I'm just a little bit tougher to get through. 6, a 6, a 4, a 3, and 1 is discarded. Well, actually, no, the 1 isn't discarded on my end. So I was able to defend that attack coming in. So now what we're going to do is flip. And the only reason I'm flipping those is so I don't see them. I don't have like a... I don't remember that they're there, so I can't like be thinking I'm going to change something. I'm just my way of kind of keeping track of things a little bit. Alright, so now we move back into the hero's turn, and we're going to start, of course, by killing some skeletons. We're going to go with the one in front of... We'll go with Rorden again, so he'll get his 4 dice. Skeleton will get his 2 for defense. We need some really good stuff here. Alright, so we got a 5, a 5, a 3. This was feeble, so we don't count it. Skeleton got a 5 and a 3. So he blocked this attack. This one came in, and this one came in. So we've reduced this one down to a pile of bones. Okay. Now we're going to move to Orloff and get his 5 dice, 2 for the skeleton. Oh, he did not have a very good turn. So we had a feeble. So that was 2 hits. The skeleton, well, okay, I at least did 2 hits on this guy. Wasn't able to really defend that, so we've reduced him to a pile of bones, which might be good if the Overlord doesn't try to raise some stinking skeletons in front of me, which is kind of blocking my path and getting annoying. So, it is Overlord turn now. And let's see. We're gonna use my 2 extra commands card. And for those 2 extra commands, I'm gonna raise, of course, the 2 right in front of him. These things just can't die. They're skeleton zombies, of course. Or zombie skeletons, I don't know what the difference is. And then I still 2 of my base actions. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I could get this one right here. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and attack Orloff. You know what? I'm going to attack Rorden because he has less armor to defend with. So I may end up scoring a hit. We'll see. So 4. Okay, probably not since I rolled a 3 and a 1. Rorden has the armor of 4, so both of these were feeble. So he didn't even get any hits through. Alright, I'll go ahead and use my last activation to get this one going. Just 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he can't go any further. Alright, so now draw 1 card for the Overlord. And then we move into the hero's turn again. And want to probably go ahead and play Rorden again. So we'll do this 4 dice and combat 2 for the skeleton. He did okay. He did 3 hits. 1 of them was feeble. Skeleton did not was not able to block any of those hits, so this one is completely removed. And now we're going to go to Orloff's turn. Actually, he could try to break away. Now there is a breakaway rule, but I don't think they use the breakaway rules in the adventure A and B's, I believe. So just going to go ahead and pretend like that rule doesn't even exist until they want it brought into the regular game. It's more on the advanced rules, because there's a lot of the advanced rules that they just don't put into these soul starter quest here. So I'm going to move my 7 points, 7 movement. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And for my second action, I'm going to try to break down the door. He's just, Hail Mary to run out there and try to see what he can do. So the door has an armor value of 3. The door is going to get 3 dice that it's going to roll against my attack of 5. And any dice, since it has an armor of 3, any dice that are 3 and under are going to be discarded. So we have 1 feeble roll. However, it looks like I rolled pretty good with a 6, a 5, a 4, and a 4. The door's defense looks like I did score multiple hits, but all I needed was 1 to burst the door down. And I believe from what it says is that is the opening the final door is our victory. And so it says the last skeleton dropped under heavy blow from Orloff's axe, even though Orloff was the one that ran out. And the barbarian grunted to himself in satisfaction, roaring and taking no chances after the experience of the last few minutes. Stomped down hard on the skull, shattering under his heavy boot and grinding the fragments of powder under his heel. These things didn't go down easy, and he had no wish to find one of them risen again at their backs later on. Orloff blew a long breath and kicked out a dismembered hand lying in the flagstones behind him. So what now, he says. Alright, so now we finished the quest A, Adventure A, and we'll move on to the Adventure B. This will actually bring in some more rules for the game as far as range goes. This one was basically just learning to move your characters, learning how the combat dice worked, how the Overlord hands worked, and that was pretty much it. There's nothing too complicated about that. Actually, this is my second video. I don't think I'm going to post the first one because the first one I totally screwed things up, and I was only giving the skeletons, when I activated them, I was only giving them 1 activation because I was misreading a rule that said they only get, what did it say? It was kind of misleading to me, but I had to look it up. It said that each model can receive only 1 command each turn. Well, an action and a command, I guess, are 2 different things. When I send a command to a minion to activate, he gets his full activation. He'll get his move and his attack. So I was kind of cutting him short. So I think it went a little better this time. It got kind of rough when the Overlord, i.e. myself, kept raising the minions right there in front. But it's exactly what I would have done if I was playing against other people. I would have done the same thing. So pretty good. Stick around. I'll hopefully soon have Adventure B up, and I will go ahead and get that uploaded so you guys can view it, and then we can start the actual quests. And I'll be playing those solo with the Invisible Overlord cards. I know that kind of sounds funny. They do exist. You can see them, but they're what control the AI, or not. I'm sorry, control the minions. Or the henchmen through AI, the game rules, not another player. So, alright guys, I appreciate you sticking around. I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know if you saw anything wrong. Leave it in the comments section, and I will get back to you. Like I said, constructive, please. This is all fun here, just games, and I'd like to keep it that way. So, alright guys, have a good one.